Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bullpen. In the bullpen today, we have Miss Samaria Rice. Ms. Rice is the mother of Tamir Rice. If you remember, back in 2014, a cop named Loman shot and killed the 12-year-old Tamir Elijah Rice, who was playing with a toy gun in a park outside of a recreation center. The 12-year-old died the next day. His birthday is approaching next week on June 25th, actually in a couple of days, June 25th. And we have on the program his mother, all right? Ms. Rice, good day. Welcome to Indisputable. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on the program, and thank you for your continued advocacy and leadership. Give us some insight as to the nonprofit and the work in this space to basically create common sense reform and common sense dynamics to ensure this doesn't happen in the future.
Yeah, well, since the death of Tamir, I've been on a journey and a search for justice. I've been through three administrations. The Obama administration, then the Trump administration, then back to the Biden administration, where in the Trump administration, it was quietly closed. In the Biden administration owed me an explanation because, of course, the Trump administration at the time was not trying to give me no type of explanation on why. So after I had my conversation with Christian Clark at the time, she basically told me that um, she will not take the case to the Supreme Court. She will not try to go for the willful intent, which is statute 242. Yeah, so she just wouldn't go for it, or she just didn't pursue it, telling me that the career prosecutors knew what was best. And, I had my attorney write a letter. I had Brian Stevenson write out to her. I had Angela Davis write out to her. From my attorney gathering a letter, getting a lot of signatures, saying that she could try the statute 242, which is willful intent, meaning that Officer Loman had that weapon. He had the gun on his unstrapped on his lap at the time of my son's murder. So I've been still searching for an indictment for Timothy Loman. I have managed to get with an organization in Cleveland, Ohio, and create a civilian oversight board. We're still under a consent decree in the city of Cleveland, and it's just a lot of it's a lot of corruption. Let me just say that. But the civilian oversight is strong enough to possibly hold officers accountable, accountability and things like that. But it's just making sure you got the right people in play. My journey has been very sustainable and very long and nurturing. And I was able to develop the Tamir Rice Foundation in 2016, and I purchased a building in 2018. Wanted to give back, doing free after school programming in the city of Cleveland. So
Wow.
it's been very long and still working at it.
That's amazing. You transforming this kind of pain that, as a parent, is unimaginable. I cannot imagine what you went through and go through with something like this happening, and then not to be able to get justice as you should, obviously is extreme to the emotion. But you have taken that to create this very beautiful thing in your son's name. Can you tell us about the nonprofit, go into more detail about what it does and what it aims to do?
Absolutely. The Tamir Rice Foundation is the bigger umbrella for the Tamir Rice Afro Central Culture Center. And we do programming in the community from expression arts to tutoring to mentoring and doing creative writing, where we have a, performing arts studio in the back of our building where the children can do plays and just be children, you know. I wanted to create that space because that's what my son benefited from, being part of the community arts program and different entities like mentoring and just things that would keep him out of trouble and keep him busy. Him and his sisters.
Mm.
Yeah. So I just wanted to be able to create that space through Tamir's eyes, and hopefully people will understand the vision to be able to create spaces like that for our children. Just knowing that the inner city schools have taken a lot of things out of the schools, like the arts program and certain clubs or things like that that our kids should be privileged to, but they're not. So I just wanted to create a space for them. Right now, I did a lot of free book bag giveaways for school and school supplies. I done supported Tamir's soccer team. He was a soccer member in the fifth grade at R.G. Jones, and that's the west side of Cleveland. I was able to support like maybe 12 families, giving out like $100 gift cards just to make sure they had a good Thanksgiving. We did like an arts workshop where kids we took them to the botanical gardens and just did a workshop with them and talked about different flowers and plants throughout the week. And I work with an amazing team that I have around the country, a lot of artists and from EJ Hill to Theaster Gates in Chicago, where the gazebo is right now. It's in Chicago. It's not at Cadell Recreation Center. There's a memorial there that I put in honor of my son. So if anyone is interested in seeing a memorial, it's a very nice memorial that the city of Cleveland allowed me to put there. Let me just say that they allowed me to put it there. But I was able to get it done.
You you're an amazing person. You
Thank
were
you.
thrown into this leadership
Yes.
dynamic, and I know at one point there was this movement of mothers
Yeah.
who were thrown into this advocacy because a child was killed that should be alive,
That's
and
right.
that's a heck of a way, obviously, to come into this.
Yeah.
Since Tell us about that experience.
Yeah. It's sending out two children to play that day and only one coming home is the most reality chin checking that you ever gonna feel,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
yeah.
It's heart wrenching. It felt like was taken out my body at the time. Um, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, to be honest with you. And the system is so broken. It's too broken to do anything. To be honest with you, I mean, just thinking about all of the other murders from the 1900s and the kids that was murdered and the way that they were murdered with Emmett Till, George Steeny, and we could go on, right? It's it makes me almost feel hopeless, right? But there is a but. There is a but because there's a God. Um, with the right people and and in play and leadership, it could be possibly, a win somewhere, um, because sometimes the way that this country leaves us in and what they display to us and things like that, it just like when does it end? Like when do Black people get justice for their lives? And knowing that a lot of genocide has happened in this country, it makes you feel a different type of way. Let me just say that. I'm always hopeful and very high spirited, but it just makes you feel a different type of way. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be very, very candid and honest with you. Um, it's a horrible feeling, but I'm able to push through it through the grace of God. Let me tell you that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. We hear a lot about the national scenario around these moments. We hear
Yeah.
little about the heart, the character, the personality of the young person who's no longer here. So if you would, tell us about Tamir. What kind of child was Tamir?
Yes. Tamir was transitioning a little bit. He was only 12 for 5 months, okay? So he was still playing with Legos, still playing with toys, to be honest with you, video games. He likes to draw, and he was really an all-American kid. He loved all the sports, and he excelled in all of them too. He was very exceptional. A lot of the teachers told me they wish all the kids could be like him. I'm like, you do? Because he didn't sit down much. So I had to keep him busy. I had to keep him doing stuff, but I wanted to make sure it was positive stuff, right? Expose them to things that I wasn't exposed to growing up in the inner city of Cleveland. Um, what people don't know about me is that I lived in the suburban areas in Ohio, raising my children from 2005 all the way up to like 2012. So they lived in like the suburbs of Ohio. We was able to get out because of government housing and provide a different lifestyle, a different environment. And my kids was really they were able to excel tremendously. But when we moved back a little bit towards the inner city of Cleveland, things started to deplete with the school system, and it was just a lot lack of services, nothing for the kids to do, no programs and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of, but I still had services and kept them involved with like the mentoring program, and they were able to take them to different places, and that's how he was a part of the art program over at Cadell. And I didn't even know that because we had only been living over there 9 months before this happened, right? I just moved to that area, as the west side of Cleveland. I knew about it. I knew it used to be bad, a lot of drug activity and stuff, but they had cleaned it up over there. They cleaned it up. And I thought it was safe to send my kids right across the street to the recreation center. It's a park right there. I didn't think nothing of it. And yeah, my life changed. My life changed right before my eyes. So
Today, you are
I just,
transforming that into a message for others and
yeah,
making it
yeah,
strength for yourself. Let's put up the
absolutely.
GoFundMe. For
Okay,
those who are watching this, Ms. Rice, what can they do to provide support for the ongoing efforts and advocacy?
absolutely. Well, Tamir will be 23 years old coming up June 25th. This is his 11th year anniversary that he has been gone. If people could just donate $23 for 23 years, I would appreciate it. All the proceeds go towards the Afro Central Culture Center, and I'm still renovating it right now. It has been a process. I have had the building since 2018. I purchased it with some of my settlement money, and I was able to work with an architect a year later in 2019. It took the city of Cleveland like almost 2 years for my blueprints to get approved.
Mm.
Then I took another year to get them revised. So now I'm at the stage where I have already invested like 600,000 into the building, and it's a 5,000 square foot building, 2 stories. The back of the building is a size of a small basketball court, but we will be turning that into a black box theater. I'm working with Terrence Spivey and other directors. I'm open to having that conversation and things like that. One thing my son Tamir and his sisters and brothers, they love to watch movies and kind of act them out. So they love to do stuff like that. So Tamir was an all-American kid. I'm telling you, he could do everything. I didn't really know who he was going to be or what he was going to be. America took it from me. They took it from me. So I don't know what he was going to be. But he was a very talented, energized, light up a room, um, little boy. That's what I'm gonna say. He was kind of big for his age, but that's okay. His dad is 6'4". I expected him to be big for his age, but he was really a gentle giant, to be honest with you. And all the teachers, everybody always had good things to say about him. So that made me happy. But when everything is all and done, I know Tamira want me to do this for children, because one thing about what I did for my children, I invested into them. So I have 4 high school graduates. They gave Tamira an honorary diploma a few years back, um, through the summer program. So I have 4 high school graduates. It wasn't easy to get them children out of school. 2 kids was still in school when Tamir was murdered.
Mm.
I really had to be a mom and, stand firm and strong. And, God was able to work through me and make me the person who I am today, along with what my mom and my dad instilled in me and things like that. But yeah, so I'm just hoping people can understand the vision that I just want to give back. I just want to invest in the children. I just want to do the work because the children are our future.
That's
They
right.
need a safe space to be and play and be children. The one thing about me, I allow my children to be children. You don't want them growing up too grown. And that comes because I had to grow up at a very early age. And I don't want no child to have to do that, if so be it.
Remarkable
Thank
leadership
you.
from a remarkable mother. Thank you for all that you do. For those who are watching, make sure you go to the GoFundMe, do the absolute best you can. Support Tamir Rice's legacy. Go to that
Thank you.
GoFundMe. Thank you, dear sister. You have an open opportunity here anytime, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Dr. Richey.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good one.
Too.